When embodying Rocket through motion capture technology, diving into the character involves a mix of physicality, imagination, and observation. Wearing the green suit allows Sean to physically inhabit Rocket's movements, while studying his mannerisms from previous films helps him get into the character's mindset. It's about understanding Rocket's personality, quirks, and relationships within the story, so Sean can bring him to life in a way that feels real to both the character and the audience.
You know, it's something I've been doing for a long time. Funny thing about the green suit is that the most famous pictures of me doing Rocket, I'm in the green suit because they're from the early on in the first movie. But I've done 6 movies as Rocket, and for 5.5 of those, I'm actually wearing a tracksuit, not that green, not that green suit. It's just the pictures that everyone knows. I mean, that's that crazy skin tight green onesie. But yeah, no, it's you know, we didn't know how Rocket was going to work when we started making the first movie. My brother knew that he trusted me as an actor, and he knew that he wanted me there on set to work with the other actors and to read the role so that I wasn't, so that they weren't talking to a tennis ball on a stick or just speaking to a blank space or something like that. And we just started rehearsals for that first movie, and I got down to a crouched position and started acting like an anthropomorphic raccoon, and it just worked. And we found that, first of all, as weird as it looked, the actors got used to it very, very quickly, so that it didn't look weird after a minute. And then it was just like, okay, we're going to relate to this person as though he's the character of Rocket. It gave Rocket a real sort of essence, and so that when they looked into Rocket's eyes, they actually saw a pair of eyes, which was really important. And the second thing that was really important is that the visual effects team saw the work that we were doing and said, hey, this is really helpful for us. When we see what he's doing, we see how he moves his hands and moves his head and where his facial expressions go. We can start to animate the character that way and know where he's moving and what he's doing. There's always a margin for error. They can always change things that I do if they need to because it's CGI. And as Bradley, of course, comes in and does like such magnificent work as a voice actor, if they want to add things from watching him perform, they can do that too. But I'm sort of there to kind of get the process from the first. It's like a baton, you know, and it's like the James writes the script and he hands it off to me, and then I take the baton and I hand it off to the visual effects team, and then the visual effects team hands it off to Bradley, the anchor, and he kind of makes the whole thing work. And that's kind of how Rocket is sort of a character by committee. And in that way, I think he's a good microcosm for the whole sort of movies they get this whole community of people, this whole team of people coming to make something with love and care, and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it's been a crazy process.
Yeah, you know what? I never really understood how much goes into this, especially like all the behind the scenes, how many people are involved. You got to think, like, without you, without your brother, without the VFX team, without Bradley Cooper, if one of those people are missing, it just throws everything off. You know,
yeah.
you need that dynamic, and especially you need good people doing it, right? You know, what I always talk about, because I'm sure you could tell, but I love like 80s movies and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even like back then, there's a lot of practical effects. And that's a whole thing on its own, right? A whole animal to tackle, because it's hard to make that to look realistic. But now with CGI, you know, you gotta be careful because sometimes it could look cheesy. It can't look right. And I've seen movies where it doesn't work. But this movie, you know, even the fact that they didn't even use real animals for it was all CGI. That, like, the passion that goes into these films, I think it's unmatched.
Yeah. I appreciate you saying that, and yeah, I think it's really interesting what the VFX team is able to accomplish, and even how it's progressed in the 10 years since we made the first movie. And this movie also was a little bit different for Rocket, because in the past, the work that I did is actually technically called motion reference, because they're watching what I do and then animating from there.
Yeah.
But in the third movie, all like the young Rocket stuff is more traditional motion capture, where I'm actually wearing the suit with the balls and the numbers and the colors rather, and all that stuff. So that because we were able to you know, with the other actors who played Lila and Flora and Teefs, you know, Linda Cardellini and Awesome and Michaela Hoover. We were all the same size, so I didn't have to like squat down. We could all be regular motion capture, and then we shot all of that stuff more traditional motion capture, which was just another piece of the puzzle. It's like you do what works, you do what suits the scene, you do what makes it work.
Absolutely, and I'm sure your back wasn't broken after, right? Because you said you didn't have to go on all fours all the time.
Exactly. It was easier. It's because Rocket's like for a lot of the movie, Rocket's, you know, either standing upright when he's young or he's laying down on his back. From a physical standpoint, it was the easiest of all the movies I've done with Rocket, which is good for me because I'm getting up there, and I think I'm gonna have to retire from playing from doing the squatting.